Hello, party people! Hello, it's Randy from Thunderhorse Descendant. I'm here today with project number 2. Project number 2 from our plans for bargain bead box. So, this is from Woodland Whimsy, which is August 2023 bargain bead box. This is project 2. So, I had some plans to get some videos done before this, but my sister showed up for sister weekend unexpectedly, so I didn't do that. But that's fine, because I had a lovely time. So we're getting back into the groove of things and hopefully get going on our, how many projects? 6? Looks like 6. I honestly don't even remember making these. So 6 projects. I guess it's going to be a surprise for all of us. So if you are new here, welcome in. If you are not new here, welcome back. And if you are a member of Thunderhorse Descendant and you pay $9.99 a month for your membership, please don't forget that on the 16th, we are going to be giving away the bargain bead. No, sorry. We're not going to give away the bargain bead box. We're going to give away Sam's bead box at our 3 o'clock afternoon, so 3 p.m. Central Time, members only live. So this was part of the goals. We got 30 members in 30 days, which was part of our goals. And so to celebrate that, we are going to unbox Sam's bead box, and then we're going to give it away to one of the members. So I'm excited for that. So let's get on down to the mat, get this project started. All right, guys, here we are down on the mat. So this is going to be a knotting project for project number 2. We are going to be using all of the Unakite. We'll look more at that in a second. I just want to make sure we have everything here. This is our little needs list I made. So we need the rust colored Ceylon, 0.5 millimeters. We need a tweezer, gold spacers, which these are our gold melon beads for length. So I didn't have any gold spacers, I don't think. I have these, but they're rose gold, and I don't think that's gonna work, to be quite honest with you. Maybe we don't need spacers. You know what I'm gonna do? I think, let's see. Well, if I double up the strand, but if I do a single strand, talking to myself. Okay, I'm gonna grab some gold seed beads. If I was gold seed beads, where would I be? Well, there's these as an option. I kind of want an 11s. Still looking. So, ugh, I don't know if that's enough. Doesn't look like enough. Doesn't look like, oh. Hey-o. All right, we're in it, we're in it. Why do I have these in my hand? Don't need those. Okay, so I got size 11 Miyuki, size 11 round beads, gold, check. Gold melon beads, check. And a clasp. I decided to use this toggle. So it's a little gold toggle. I don't usually use a toggle on necklaces like this. I'll usually use like a large lobster, or maybe a Old Faithful clasp, but I thought, meh, why not? I got it. So there we go. So that is everything that we need. We are also going to need glue. So as you guys know, have not been to the store. I need to go to the store. So for right now, we're just using this regular old super glue from like the Dollar Tree, but I like to use the Loctite super glue. So I think I'm going to have to go to the store tonight, honestly, and get some. But at the moment, this is what we're using. So now that we got all of our business, let's get on down to it and get this party started. So here is our design. It looks pretty straightforward. We're going to have our pendant. We're going to start with our pendant. And then we are going to just sprinkle in the melon beads up through here while knotting. So there you go. Easy peasy. Okay. The first thing we need to do is get ourselves ready. So I'm just going to dump out these melon beads. Now I believe I added these from my stash. They're stuck in this little bottle. Yeah. And I think I did that because we needed length for this strand. Because the strand is only 15 inches long, and that's not long enough for my liking. So we're just going to add in a couple. No big deal. So if you have never done a stringing project before, let me tell you what, it's not as hard as you think. It's going to be pretty easy once you get going, and I'm going to show you how to do that. I did have some people say that they wanted to see the whole process of this without edits or fast forwards because of the knotting situation, so that's what I'm going to do. So before we even get going on all of this, this is what we need for this project. So if you do not have a tweezer like this, this is a diamond tip tweezer. We do sell them on Thunderhorse Descendant. Swing over to the tool section if you need one. This is going to be knotting with a tweezer. I have done a million different types of knotting before I found this particular situation that I really like, and it was Kelly from Kelly's Bead Boutique that I watched one of her videos and was finally able to figure it out for myself. So props to Kelly. So this is the tweezer. We got our pendant, we got our string. So here's a couple of things you need to know before we get going. Okay, before we even start, before you're thinking about taking this project and making it your own, which I highly hope that you do, and do whatever you got to do with it. Sorry, I got string on my desk. The reason that I am going to use this 0.5 millimeter Ceylon is because this is generally the size that I get. I like this size. It works good for me. So it's 0.5. I don't know that we have any more on the website. We might. The reason I'm going to be using this seed beads as a spacer is because the holes in these beads here, the melon beads, and possibly the holes in the actual stone beads are going to be probably too big if I do a single strand of this. When we start the knotting process. Now you can double up your string, that's completely up to you. However, the way that I'm going to utilize the pendant, I'm only going to be using one strand for each side. I'm basically going to do like a lark's head knot situation and use one strand of that lark's head for each side. Now if you wanted to do double up and not use spacers, you would have to double up your string. Do lark's head this way. You might have to connect on to this with something else. I don't know if you can get through here with 4 pieces of string. It's possible you can. If you can, what you're going to do is you're going to run all 4 pieces of your string through here, whichever way you need to do that. And then 2 on this side, 2 on this side. And then when you're utilizing your 2 pieces of string, you're just going to utilize them as though they were one. In which case you probably would not need spacers for these stone beads, but you still would need spacers if you're using these type of melon beads or any other spacer bead that has a larger hole, because even if you double up the knot next to these, it's either A, going to look different than all the other knots, or it's not going to hold that large of a hole on. So that's why I'm going to be utilizing these seed beads. That's just a personal preference. Let's see what else. I'm going to start my necklace down at the pendant because that works best for me. However, when I go to tie on to this clasp, I am going to do a little bit of kind of like almost a macrame type stitching at the top. So there is going to be probably about this much space of knotting at the top while connecting to this. You don't have to do it that way. There's a lot of ways you could connect if you wanted to, you know, tie onto a jump ring or something to that effect. This is just how I always do it because I like it that way. Okay. So there's some tips for you before we even get started on this project. You have to look at the size of your holes in your beads. It's very important. And if so, you need to factor in having a spacer. I generally try to use a seed bead as a spacer, or one of these guys that has a small hole in it, one of these metal spacers. So it's especially important if you are planning on using different types of beads together, because these types of beads, they don't all have the same hole size. So that's something to note. All right, all that to say this, let's get on into it with our stringy material here. So this stringy material that I'm about to pull out, as I said, is going to be a single strand, and I'm basically going to use it for two sides. So I want to make sure I'm pulling out enough string. Knotting really does take up a lot of string, so I'm going to go 1.5 wingspans. For myself. Okay, 1.5 wingspans. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to marry up the end. And I'm going to find the center. I just bumped the light. I'm going to find the center. And like I said, I'm going to utilize a lark's head knot type situation to get this going to begin with. Oh, my necklace is knocking on the table. Okay. That's not going to work. So then I'm going to take my my pendant, and I'm going to decide which side I want to be the front. And I'm going to string this through there. And I'm just going to make a lark's head knot by bringing the tails over the top. I'm going to pull it down. Okay. So now this is my front of my necklace. Pretty easy. So what I'm going to do right here is I'm going to actually just tie a knot on top of this lark's head to keep it in place. Okay. So we're going to tie our very first knot, and if you've never tied a knot like this, this is how you do it. So you're going to wrap around 3 fingers, 2 if it's more comfortable for you. Okay. Then you're going to take these tails, you're going to go underneath, bring it all the way through 1 time. Then you're going to do it again. Take it underneath, bring it around 2 times. So this is what you should have on your string. FYI, Thunderhorse Descendant is a working studio, so if you hear commotion going on, that's just work being done. Shannon's upstairs doing stuff. So now, I want my camera to focus on this. There we go. So now that we have this wrapped around there twice, we're going to take our tweezer. We're going to go through this loop where your fingers are. Okay, so you're going to go through there with the tweezer. You're going to grab a hold of, this is your base string, and you're going to want, wherever you grab hold is where your knot is going to go. So if you want it to be up further, or if you want it to be down lower, you just have to figure out where you want that knot to be. I want mine to be about right there so that this can move a little bit if it wants to. And you want to hold, excuse me, you want to hold the tweezer down here by the very tip, okay? So then it makes it easier for your knot to slide off. So I'm putting a pretty good amount of pressure on my tweezer right here, holding it. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a hold of these tails, and right here I want you to see you want your tails, you're going to pull both at the same time. You want your loop to be on the tweezers, hanging on the tweezer. You see how it's on there? You don't want it on this side, you want it over here. Okay? Then you're going to grab the tails, pull them straight up, and you want to make sure, since you're using 2 strands at this point, you want to make sure that you're pulling them both evenly, and you want to pull it tight. Okay? Once you get it down to the tweezer, you're going to kind of do a wiggly, make sure you got all the slack out of there, and then you can even push that down with your nail. You're going to remove the tweezer. You have a loose knot. You're going to take the tweezer above the knot, and you're going to hold on to the tails, and you're going to push this down into place. Lock it into place. Okay? So you're locking it into place. You're pulling on these tails, you're pulling this down, locking it into place. You're back further on your tweezer when you're doing that, so you're not way up here at the tip. And then once you've done that, you're going to double check your knot, and there you go. So that is what it looks like. So now it's locked into place. Okay? So here you have a couple of options. Now remember, I said I'm going to take mine and I am going to separate it and go one way, one strand on each side for the necklace. Now if you're doing 2, you might have, you know, 4 strands. Of course you'd have 2 on this side, 2 on that side. Now right here is an option for you. You could even drop this down one more. You could put a little bead on top of it. You know, one of these, you could put one of these guys here, lock that into place before you do the split. There's lots of things you could do. You could put a melon bead here to lock it down. You know, whatever you feel like you want to do to bring your necklace together. So I think what I'm going to do is that I am going to put a bead on top. So I need to get my needles ready so that I can start adding beads. So we're going to go to the tail, and you're just going to take a piece of plastic. Any piece of plastic will work. I'm just going to use this bag. You're going to take your glue. You're going to put this onto the plastic. Just a little dabble do ya. You're going to take one of the tails and you're going to run it through there, through the glue, like so, twisting the bag as you come out. Camera just went off. You're going to want to run it through about 2 or 3 times. Set that to the side, let it dry. You're going to come in here. You probably might have to add a little more glue. You're going to do the other side. In essence, what we're doing here is we're creating needles just to make it easier for this project, so you're not sitting there fighting with your string. You're just going to utilize this as a needle portion. Okay, so there we go. Let that dry. Okay, while that's drying, I'm going to pick out the bead that I want to have on the top of this. And do I want a bead on top of this? I wouldn't necessarily need a bead on top. Maybe. I kind of like this one, but like I said, I don't know if this guy is going to stay on there. Maybe he will. We'll try it without the spacer. Since I have 2 pieces of string and I'm going to be tying a double knot, this one might stay in place by itself without having to be spaced. So I'll try that. Okay. Yeah, this glue takes forever to dry. I don't know why. It's not very good, I'll tell you what. I don't even know. No. That glue did not work out at all. It's like it didn't even work. Come on, E6000. Not E6000. Loctite super glue. Nail glue? Let's give that a whirl. See what that's got for us. Didn't work. Okay, this looks a little bit more promising. Okay, we'll try that. If at first you don't succeed, try again. Well, that definitely feels a little more sticky than the last one. Alright, I'll give her a whirl. Fun facts, this nail glue is also from the Dollar Tree. So I don't know, I guess we're trial and error in it. And we'll see what that does for us. Oh, I dropped it on the floor. Coffee is required. I'm so impatient. I'm so impatient. Ah. This, you guys, this glue, this is not it. I'm gonna have to go to the store. All right, well, for this, we'll see if it'll work. But if it doesn't work, I'm not gonna sit here and fight with it. I'll just have to go get some, because ain't nobody got time for that. Okay, so I'm gonna put on this bead onto both strands. Now my fingers are all weird. Okay, so I'm going to tie another knot right here. So I'm going to take both strings, go around 3 fingers, come up here to the top, go from back to front, go through with both strands, 1, all the way through, go again, 2, come in with the tweezer, go through the loop, grab a hold of the base string right up next to the bead. I want this to be pretty tight. Okay, there we are. I'm going to remove my fingers. This is on the tweezer. The loop is on the tweezer. I'm going to grab a hold of the tails, bring them straight up, bring them all the way down. I'm going to wiggle, wiggle. Okay. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Make sure it's pretty tight to the tweezer. I'm going to put it down on the mat because I don't want to be holding tension on this. I'm going to remove the tweezer, go back here, grab hold of the string, lock it into place. Okay, so now here's my knot. I want to make sure that it's going to work. So pull it, push and pull it a little bit. Seems like it's pretty good out of 10. And now I'm going to be able to split them. So I will try to go a little bit here on one side and make sure that see if I can utilize this. I mean, it's okay, it's not great, but if it doesn't work, then you know. First I need to do is I need to split these beads. The reason for this is these are all the beads that I have for this entire necklace. So I want to make sure I have enough for each side. So I'm just evenly splitting these. I got one extra one. Okay, so I'm just going to put these over here for now. Let's put him there. So these are the ones that I have available to me for this side. And then also I have two. I don't know that I'm going to use all of these melon beads, but I might. Okay, so I got them there. And then I have my little seed bead. So, first things first, I'm going to see, put my seed bead on there, put my first stone, put a seed bead. And bring that down. Okay. Again, here we are. So now I'm only going to do this with one strand, okay, because I'm only working on one strand. So I'm going to go ahead and go around 3 fingers. I'm going to go under once. I'm going to go under twice. I'm going to get my tweezer, go in through the loop, and go right on top of that seed bead. I'm going to remove my finger, make sure the loop is on the tweezer, pull it straight up, wiggle, wiggle, pull that out, lock that into place. Okay, I'm going to do one on the other side so you can see how it's going to look on the other side. I'm going to make sure to pull from here. Go to this side. And this is what's going to create your V, right? Okay, same thing. That's what it's going to look like. So with this strand, I'm going to take it around. 1, 2, go in through the loop, grab a hold of the base cord right above the seed bead, pretty far down on the tweezer. Grab a hold of the tail, pull it straight up. Move the tweezer, lock that bead into place. Okay, so there is your official V started, and now all we're going to do is do this up the side. So I said I was not going to skip any in this video, but I am going to go a little bit faster now that I feel like you guys have had sufficient, you know, showing you how to do the move. Basically, we're just going to keep doing the move until we get up to a melon bead. Then we might have to have a little talk about it. Okay. 1, 2. Through the loop, base string, there's that guy. My tweezer is a little bit slipping. Give me 1 second. Okay, I had to grab up a new tweezer. This is the same tweezer, it's just in silver, it's just not black. Okay. So we're just going to keep going. I actually really enjoy knotting once I get it started and I'm just kind of in the, you know, in the vibe of it, because it's kind of calming because you just do the step over and over again, you know. So, oh yeah, that one was better because it didn't slip. Okay, now I think that I have 3 on there. I'm going to go ahead and put a melon bead. So I am going to utilize a seed bead, and my concern about this is that I don't know if this melon bead is going to eat that seed bead up. Not necessarily. Kinda. I'm going to put them on there, see what we get. So it's kind of going into the hole, but I'm okay with that. It's still plugging it up. So that works for me. I'm going to go 1, 2. And there we go. And then we just back to the Unakite. So I think for myself, I'm going to put, I'm going to put a melon. I was going to say every 3 beads or so, but I think that'll probably be fine. So I think I have to run to the post office here for a minute and go ship out our orders for the day. But it's okay. I have to take a little break here. All right. So we're getting up there with it. I'm gonna have a sip of coffee here. I'm liking the way it's turning out, and it's feeling very substantial, which I like. So I'm going to keep going a little bit. I know it's kind of weird when I'm not saying anything, but this is kind of one of the reasons that I like to, you know, like show you guys the skill or whatever, and then, you know, make sure you get the gist of it, and then kind of do it on my own a little bit, because then I like to listen to music, or I like to listen to my audiobooks, and when I'm you know, on the camera, I can't do that. So that's one of the reasons. But also it's just like, you know, we don't need to see the whole process of this, but some people said they wanted to, so here I am accommodating. I think maybe though, to be honest with you, I might just, because it's less like quiet down here, I might just go up to the top on this strand and then do the other one off camera after I get back from the post office, because yeah, things and stuff. I just sent my grandma this book. It's called The Golden Couple, and I don't know, I found it in the store, so whatever. A lot of times what I like to do is I'll find her like, because she likes, you know, to read the book. And so I found that in the store, I shipped it to her. And then I'll get the audio version so that while I'm killing two birds with one stone here, I can listen to the book, and then she's already reading it, so then I can say, oh, have you made it to da-da-da-da in the book that we're reading together? And usually she always says, oh, Randy, I already read that, because she'll read it in like a day. I'm just like, so I gotta have something to add to the conversation, you know. I'll say, oh, because it's usually like mystery books, like murder mystery kind of situation. So I'm like, oh, did you know it was them? Did you know it was him when he entered the scene? She always says she knows it was them, but I don't know if she does. I don't know if she just says that. She always says, oh, I knew it was him as soon as such and such happened. I'm like, okay, Grandma. So as an example here on my little string, or if you guys can see, but it's starting to get frayed out a little bit. See, normally if we use the Loctite, this would be, you know, significantly stiffer. But I mean, it's doing the job. If this is all you got to work with, it is doing the job, so I ain't gonna knock it. But you can just give that a little trim. You have to do that with Loctite too. But you can just give it a little trim, and then you'll have a sharper point on there. And just make sure that you're cutting it at an angle. So, like this. Let's get an angle cut. I didn't like that one. Well, excuse me. I think I forgot to put a seed bead on there. Or it fell off. One or two. Yeah, I really like the way this is turning out. Quite enjoy it. I also really like Unakite Jasper. I'm going to have to restock the tweezers next week too. I should put that on the list. Okay, that was my last melon bead. So I get 3 more beads, but let's just see where we're at here with the length. I'm going to go from the first knot because that's where the V starts. Yeah, so we're already at 18 inches with the last melon bead. So it kind of depends on what you want to do. I am going to put on the additional 3 beads because that's kind of the you know, the pattern I have going on. So that's probably going to give me, you know, make me about 22 inches. But because this is not going to have an extender, I'm okay with that. Now, if you wanted to, with your ending, you could find a larger lobster to put onto this, so you could do that. You could add a couple of these together so that you can have extenders. Like, there's lots of things that you can do. I'm just going to do it like this for now. So we wouldn't actually have had, well, let's see, I put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if I put these 3, 4, yeah. So if I wouldn't have put the melon beads on, I still would have ended up with the same exact length given the 1 strand of beads. So basically what I'm saying is you wouldn't have to use the melon beads for length because you would have enough to get the same length that I'm making right now. So that's something, you know, you need to know that. I really like the melon beads. I think it gives it a little bit of color. I like the gold. So I don't mind it at all. It's just my personal opinion. But if you wanted to have all Unakite Jasper, you could do that with this 1 strand and still get, you know, about 20-inch necklace. So I'm just putting that out there because that's something you kind of only figure out when you know, do a project the first time. And, you know, that kind of thing. So okay, and then I got 1 more bead left. I mean, we knew we would get length because we're adding seed beads as spacers and knots, which always adds length. Yeah, I'm actually quite surprised that it's you would be able to get the same length with the 1 strand. So there you go. Knowledge for the bank. Alright, so that is my last bead. So now, and this is going to, let me zoom you out a little bit. Oh. So see, I still had 4 left for this side. So although I put 5 on, you know, I mean, you're going to tie on your, you know, your stuff and things. So it's technically the same amount. This is going to relax a little bit. Once we get done with it, what we're going to do is we're going to hang it up, right? So it's going to be hanging. So the weight, we got to make gravity work for us. The weight is going to stretch those knots out. It's going to make them about the same size, right? Because they're going to have the same amount of weight and gravity on them. And that's going to be good for us. And this is going to, any jaggedness is going to dissipate when you hang it up for a little bit of time. So, but first what I need to do is I need to get my one end on. And so I do this kind of a, I don't know if it's a, this is just how I do it. You guys have seen me do this a million times if you've been around here at all. So I'm going to utilize the male part. I'm going to put this on there, like so. Okay. And then I'm going to tie it on just like I normally would a knot here. So I'm going to go 1, 2, and I'm going to bring it down. Okay, so I want to leave a little bit of space, not too much, but a little bit, because this is going to have to get through here, okay, to put it on. And you're going to have this bead here. So you want to have a little bit of space for it to maneuver this around, you know, not too much so it can slip out a lot, but you know, enough. I'm just gonna wiggle here a little bit. All right, so I would say I have about let's just call it 4 millimeters of space between where my charm is and the knotted necklace. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to try to lay this down for you guys so you can see what I'm doing. Basically, I'm going to do what they call carousel knot. So I'm going to make a backwards 4, and I'm going to bring this around. It's kind of hard to do when you got to hold on to everything here. And get it into place. Okay. And, oh, flipped over. Okay, I'm going to do like this. So basically what you're doing is you're just doing a half hitch knot whatever way you need to do it. And you're just doing a half hitch knot over the top of this string, right? And it's going to start to fall into place. And they call it a carousel knot because it's going to start to carousel around. But basically all you're doing is you're just doing a half hitch knot here, if that helps you understand. And you're just going to go all the way down following the string, go over the top of your other knot that you've made until you hit the bead. So I would think that that's pretty close. And this is just, I just do it this way so that it kind of looks like it's one piece, right? And then I'm going to hit that with a little bit of glue. I'm not going to do it with this glue because this is proven to be a little bit interesting. So I'm going to wait till I get some Loctite. So for right now, I'm just going to go ahead and leave this on here. But normally what I do is I would hit it with a little bit of glue and then trim it off so you can't see it, right? So there we go. So maybe I'll grab some of that up while I'm at the store. Okay. Always gold. So there is the one side of the necklace. So these are all extra pieces, right? So there's the one side. So now I am going to go to the post and I am going to run around, do all the things. I'll probably stop and get glue. When I come back, I am just going to finish this up. We're going to do the same exact thing that we did on this side. so you can see it. I really enjoy it. It really didn't take that long at all, and it's working out pretty good. So I'll be right back, you guys. Alright guys, here we are in the basement. No, on the mat. We're back in the basement. I just went upstairs and I took the post to the post office, and I went outside, and Lily dug a big hole in the yard. So she's down here with me today now, because she cannot be doing that. We're playing a little game called I'm gonna go wherever Mom goes, because that's just not how we're doing things. So Lily's down here. Alright, so we got our little glue on our ends. I did get the rest of this necklace completed. And there we go. So we're doing pretty good. Just wait for these to dry up here, and then I'll give them a snip. But yeah, I do really like the way that this necklace turned out. I think the gold, I really like it a lot, actually. I think I like it a lot more than I originally thought that I was going to, because it kind of gives it a little something. So now I'm just going to very carefully snip these off. There we go. Still a little bit wet, but that's fine. There we go. Alright, so I am pretty dang happy with it, I gotta tell ya. Let's get an end measurement here. And measuring from this V, 22 inches in total. So that's about what I thought it was going to be. So I'm very happy with it, and once this all dries up, I left enough space here for this to get through there. And there we go. So I hope that you guys are enjoying these videos. If you are, please make sure to leave it in the comment. Give me a comment, a like, maybe give it a share to your personal page. I'm sure there's people out there who are doing the bargain bead box who don't know about my videos, so we would like to get those people informed so they can be part of our group as well. We have quite a lovely group, and we invite all of you to come over to our Facebook group and share with us what you're making with your bargain bead box. I'm going to snap up a couple of pictures here, and we're going to have ourselves a lovely day. So I hope you guys have a lovely day as well, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.